Hey everyone, Ruben here. We are here with Mr. Gatsby, and we are going to be starting him on the e-collar today. So I wanted to take a second to show you how we're sizing it up, how we're going to find his working level, and then get into the start of conditioning the e-collar pressure to Gatsby. So what that means is it's going to look a little bit like our initial leash pressure work, where the dog goes out in front and we give him guidance to come into us, and then when he does, we say yes, and then we pay him some food, right? So we're going to be doing that, essentially that same thing with the e-collar, so he can get used to the e-collar sensation and understand that that pressure equals good things, all right? So that's it. Good boy. All right, so a couple of things that we've done on this collar here is I have fitted it with some comfort pads. See that? So that is for long-haired dogs, okay? And so what I'm going to do is first I'm going to put it around his neck. And I like these ones because they're good for long-haired dogs, and it really ensures good contact. One thing you want to note when you're putting this collar on and you're sizing it up to him, you want to, it needs to be snug, okay? The collar shouldn't move freely around his neck. If I move the box, it should move his neck. If it moves around freely, contact can be poor, and then we might end up using higher levels on the dog. Good. So we got that fitted up. The other thing is we use these bungee collars here. And the reason for that is because when dogs, if you're putting this on inside the kennel or something, dogs can get excited. And then when they get excited, their necks expand. And if you're using just a normal collar, you're sizing it to that expanded neck. And then when they relax, that actually their neck contracts, and then the collar is no longer fit right. And then you can have a contact issue. So the bungee compensates for that. And we use that on every single dog. So I'm going to comb that back in. Buckle that up. Again, I like to just kind of pull the hair around just to make sure that it feels good. Good. Yes. All right, so now you got to grab the remote, whatever I did with that. What? All right, so we're going to bring him a little bit closer here, okay? And so we always start off at level 1, and I'm going to tap the remote a couple of times. And what I'm looking for from him is something kind of like this. maybe I see an ear twitch or something like that. But I'm not looking for any kind of drastic head movements or anything like that. It should be really subtle, okay? And the other thing is like, we're gonna be using this on the continuous motion, on the continuous button, which is on this collar, it's the red button. And first, so we're tapping to find the level that he might feel. And then that level might go down once we start using the continuous button, all right? So that's something that we want to be mindful of. So just because he might feel it on a 5 or a 6 or a 7, doesn't mean he's actually going to be working on that one. That's like his first perception level, and then because his mind is now open to it, we might actually be able to move down in our levels a little bit more, all right? So we're going to start off, like I said, at the 1, and I'm just looking for a little reaction from him. And I might not even see a reaction. Sometimes, I know most dogs would feel it at least at the level 8, and sometimes that's where we end up starting, and then we just move down in our levels. Because what will happen is I'll actually see the neck pulse a little bit, and if I see that, then I know the dog is feeling it. It just is not registering to the dog. So here's a 2. So it's possible that he feels it right there because he laid down. Let's go. Or he could just be getting bored and wondering why I'm taking so long with doing something. That was a 3. Here's a 4. So it's possible that he feels it on that 4. Let's see that again. Maybe not. Try 5. Six. Okay, so 6 might be the one. I'm going to go back down to a 5. 6 again. Let's try a 7. Make sure this is on. Yep. Let's try an 8. All right. So I think that's where he actually does feel it, is a level 8. And so I'm actually going to start off at like a 5. And if I need to dial up, I will. So this is where good remote handling comes into play. So one of the things that you really want to be working on is being able to press this button and then roll your dial up simultaneously, okay? That takes a little bit of work, but being able to do that is very key in your success for training, because there are moments in time where we need to do that, and not just in this particular conditioning phase, okay? So what I'm looking for is exactly this. I want him to be facing away from me as I am going to turn the e-collar on, and then I'm going to guide him into me. So you might be able to see the red light that's going to be right by his neck there. So as he's looking away from me, the button's going to come on. When he turns into me, I'm going to say yes and give him some food. The thing about this is like I want the e-collar to do most of the work. I don't want to use a bunch of leash. So if it feels like I'm using a bunch of leash, I might need to go up a little bit more in my levels, okay? So he's looking away. Yes. So I'm not going to be doing a whole bunch of talking here. I'm just going to work him so that I don't inadvertently like reinforce any kind of words or anything like that. We really want to make sure that we're just like saying the yes word, okay? And take your time with this. You know, there's no rush in it. If you need to move around to get him distracted, then do that. But it's very key that we just... You find any morsels? Let's go, bud. Let's go. Yes. So it appears to me that he's feeling it on the 5 on continuous. So even though the 8 is where we saw a little bit of like, what's this? I think he's definitely feeling on the 5. Now this could change. You know, tomorrow I might see a different number. Tonight I might see a different number. It's important not to stay stuck on the number. Yes. Let's go. Yes. And the other thing that I might find is that the 5 might end up being too much, because as he softens up and he's getting used to this level, I might need to go back down. So I'm always just watching the dog. If anything looked too dramatic, I would be changing my levels and be going lower, which is good because I want to have a higher, I want to have more headroom at the top, right? So if we're on a 5, that means I have 95 other levels to be able to communicate to him under a variety of circumstances. Yes. So I definitely think 5 is like the magic number. Yes. Yes. So I think I'm actually going to go down to a 4. Hunt for food. Yes. So I was on the 4, and I was about to dial up to like a 5 or 6 or something, but he did turn into me, so I might be playing around with those a little bit more. Yes. So it's possible on that one that he was following my body more than he was the e-collar. Because like sometimes you got to watch that stuff. Yes. Yes. And so we'll usually spend, a few sessions doing this, just again to get him used to this. And the way it works is like this: the pressure is going to come on first, and then I move my body because I want him responding to this. Yes. Usually we start off with just doing this work here. We could introduce other things, right? Like, because he knows how to sit with the leash pressure, I can add this into it. But usually, we just wait a little bit to like just condition just this feeling first, and then we start getting into obedience work, what's called layering the collar over those no commands. Yes. Yes. So that went from 4 to 5. Yes. And then we're almost done. Yes. All right, that's it, bud. All right, so that was basically our e-collar conditioning. So we covered sizing up the collar, fitting it on him, what it should feel like, like what the fit should be like. Remember, it shouldn't move. It should move his neck, okay? And then, your dog should have a good understanding of the leash before introducing the collar, okay? They should know how to respond just to the leash pressure. If I was guiding his head without the e-collar, I want him to be able to follow this leash, okay? If you can't do that just yet, let's go. Then we need to work on that stuff first, okay? That's it. So yeah, and then we found his working level, which started out as an 8, but with using the continuous button, we actually went down to a 4, and maybe it's a 5. But again, it's important just to pay attention to him and not the levels, okay? Because he's actually going to he's going to be the one to show us what he feels, okay? And then it's just a matter of this conditioning exercise where the pressure comes on when he's out in front. As soon as he turns into me, the remote collar pressure goes away, and we're using more remote than the leash. So I don't want it to feel like I'm using a ton of leash. If I am, I need to go higher up in my levels, okay? It could be 1, so he got out of his sit. Nope. And then put him back. So that's just, we're doing this video, but we still gotta I gotta mean what I say. If I tell him sit, I gotta hold him to that, because if he gets out of that sit and I don't put him back into it, he learns that this is negotiable. And then what else is negotiable? You want me to come when I call you? No, I think I'm gonna go do something else. So it's really important that we follow through. So nope, with what we ask, okay? And so that's where the nope, and then leash pressure, leash guidance back into that position really comes into play. All right, so yeah, that is e-collar conditioning, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.